here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with another DIY tutorial for Jess's advent calendar. Today is a quick and easy one. I needed some quick and easy ideas, so I'm going with a quick and easy one today. And so basically what I'm doing is I've got these wood veneer here, so I've got a tree and I've got a deer, and what I'm actually going to do is use my range of embossing powders. So I've got gold glitter. This is like a Japanese lacquer, which is red and black. I've got green, I've got white, I've got copper, red, and a silver glitter. And I am going to just play around and emboss these wood veneer. I might do some half and half, I might do some all embossed. We'll just play around. But I want to emboss some wood veneer for Jess to use in her December daily album. So I will do all of these. I don't know whether she needs all of them, but you know, then I can use some for my December daily album. So it's a win-win, right? So yeah, I'll put you on fast forward and we'll come back at the end and I'll show you the different ones that I've made. And I hope you enjoy this quick tutorial today. Okay, so here I am up with my voiceover component of this video, and so basically I'm just going to be doing the same technique over and over again, but I'm using my Versamark and I'm alternating between putting things, the wood veneer completely in the Versamark, completely covering it with glue, or doing some half and halves and things like that. So for this first one, I decided to try out my green embossing powder, so I don't use the other colours very often. I use copper and white quite regularly, but the other colours I really don't use often, so I can't remember what they look like, and it's sort of a bit of hit and miss on, you know, when you're embossing on top of wood veneer anyway. So this is the green, which is okay. You know, I think it works because it's a Christmas tree, but I don't love it. It's not super shiny. I think that's what I like about the copper and the white embossing powder that I have from Stampin' Up. It's really shiny, but the other embossing powders that I have aren't particularly shiny. So that was the green, and yeah, again, I'm just sort of going through and deciding what I want to do for each of the different pieces of wood veneer. So for this one, I have gone with a half and half kind of, I guess, look, and I've used Post-it notes to help with that. So I've just stuck the Post-it note down. This was the first one I did, so I didn't take the Post-it note off until late, you know, after I'd already put the embossing powder on. I would recommend taking it off before you put the embossing powder on. The good thing about embossing powder is it won't stick anywhere that it doesn't have the glue, so you know it's not going to stick to the rest of the wood veneer. But it did get all over the Post-it note, and that was annoying, so don't do that. So this one is copper, and I really love the way that this turned out, and yeah, I think, as I said, the copper and the white I really like because they're super shiny. I think the gold glitter is one of my favourites, but I find it's less versatile than the copper and the white. I think I could probably do with just a gold and a silver, but I don't have them, and, you know, I should use what I have before I buy more things, right? Going for another half and half option here, this time with a reindeer. And this time I went with the dunking it into the copper, because the pot is actually a bit wider. I like how some people I see on YouTube who do embossing all the time have like a big quantity of embossing powder, and they put it in like a bigger container, and they can just sort of emboss kind of straight into the container. I can see the value in that, because by the end of this session, which was about 20 something minutes, or close to half an hour of embossing, I had embossing powder everywhere, particularly the glittery one, which is what I'm using now. It goes everywhere. There is glitter everywhere. So yes, I can recommend maybe using a container. I know you can get those sort of flat things with the funnel that, anyway. I don't have any of those. I just use a scrap piece of paper to tip it back into my little tub of embossing powder. But I can see that if you have a large quantity of embossing powder and you've got it in a bigger container, that would work much better. And I'm envious of people that have that, but I can't see the need for me personally to invest in that large quantity of embossing powder, because I just don't use enough of it. So for what I do, these little tubs are fine, and just using the, you know, the paper and folding it and tipping it back into the pot is perfectly fine. But yeah, if you are someone that embosses a lot, I can see why getting a bigger tub is extremely handy to stop embossing powder just going everywhere. Similarly to the green, this red I don't love either. Part of the reason is it could be the age of the product. I don't know if embossing powder goes bad. I mean, I can't see why it would, but this is my mother's. And when Jess and I started scrapbooking, we were talking about embossing, and Mum said, I have some of that. You can have that. I haven't used it in years. And out she gets the embossing powder. And I don't honestly know how old it would be. Mum doesn't really watch our videos very often, but hey Mum, if you're watching, comment down below and tell us how old that embossing powder is. But I would say very old. Well, I'm 35 and I can't remember Mum ever embossing when I've been alive. Maybe she has, but Mum, is it over 35 years old? But anyway, anyone know if embossing powder goes bad? I didn't particularly love that red. It wasn't very shiny, but it was also really hard to tell when it had melted. But anyway, side note. So I don't know how much of the embossing I've talked through, but really it's just more of the same thing, isn't it? I could have probably edited some of it out, but I'm rushing through making these videos, editing them, uploading them, getting them all scheduled, obviously in time for December. And while it seems strange for me to say I'm trying to rush things through, so I've made a longer video, it's actually less time consuming to just voice over a slightly longer video than to fiddle around with editing. So I do apologise, but it is what it is. And it's what allows me to try and make my 12 DIY videos in time for you to see them and for my sister to open them. So have you guys been enjoying our Advent Calendar series so far? I know that I say that in each of these DIY videos. The problem is I don't know what order these are going up in. So I don't know if you've only seen, if this is day 1 or if it's day 13 or day, 18. I don't know where we're up to. I haven't figured that part out yet. So it will be a surprise for me as much as it is for you guys watching. But this is the 3rd year that Jess and I have done our Scrappy Advent calendars, and we really like them, and I can't see us stopping anytime soon. We might slow down maybe on the DIY components. At the moment we do half and half, but I do think that perhaps that might slow down a little bit in the coming years, given that Jess now has 2 children and I am about to have my first. So we'll just see what happens once family comes along and, things like that, and we have other priorities in our lives apart from scrapbooking. But for the moment, it's heaps of fun and we really enjoy it. And this is, I guess, our Christmas present to each other as well. So we do give ourselves a gift each on the 25th of December, but it's not necessarily a large present. It just sort of is the 25th day of our Advent calendar. So, it's heaps of fun. We give ourselves a budget and we just have fun. I highly recommend you guys doing it. So I don't know how far along I am because it's hard to tell how many more I've got to go. I think I've nearly finished the trees and I am about to finish off the last of the reindeer. Yes, I feel like that is the case. So I've still got a little bit to go. I'm doing another green tree. Even though I don't love the green powder, it does make sense to me because it is a tree. So I am doing another green one. And again, I haven't decided, as I said at the start of this video, how many of these I'm giving Jess. It's one of those things where, it's great to get these things in a little Scrappy Advent calendar, but honestly, how many tree wood veneers can you use in one December daily? So I will probably only give her half a pack of the trees and half a pack of the reindeer, just to sort of not overload her with too much stuff. And then both of us can use them up in our December dailies this year, hopefully. Although I think we both might do some happy mail and things like that as well. So I'm sure we'll figure it all out, or we'll send them on to someone else who might love them. So I think I'm doing a gold one now. And I want to say I love it so much that I finish off the last couple of reindeer in gold. And I think that might be the end. So yeah, as I said, I think the gold is my favourite from a, I guess, you know, it looks the coolest. It's really shiny and bright. But it's not as practical as the copper and the white. I use the copper and the white a lot more. But this sparkly gold is pretty cool. And I think it works for December daily. You know, in the sense of just adds a little bit of bling, bit of sparkle. So I'm pretty sure I decided to do the last couple of reindeer as full coatings of the gold sparkle. Yep, I'm doing a double whammy, 2 at the same time. And then I think that's it, and I'll show you the close-ups and go back to a live recording so you can see the close-ups of how they all ended up looking. And then that'll be it. I hope you're enjoying this. I'll keep talking through to the end, but it's always hard to judge when you're coming up to the end in terms of editing. I don't know if anyone else uses their phone and iMovie for editing, but it's not a particularly large screen, so it makes it difficult to see some of the things. But that's okay. I'm just heat embossing the last couple here. And again, the only trouble with the gold is it's a bit hard to tell when it has melted. That's probably one of the things that I find the most challenging with it. So I probably go for a little longer than I need to, but, you know, just better to be safe than sorry. So yeah, that's that one done. And then I've got the last one to go. And then I think that's it. Hopefully. Oh dear. Well, anyway, I hope you guys are having a lovely day wherever you are. The weather is starting to warm up a little bit here. We're heading into summer in Australia for our summer Christmas. So yeah, we're enjoying it. But I'll switch back to live now. Oh, no, I won't. I've got another one to go. Oh, I thought that was the end. But obviously it is not. This must be my last one, which I think I do copper. I want to say I do copper. So again, I did a half and half, so I can just dip the reindeer in and I don't have to pour out the copper embossing powder, which is good. And yes, I do believe this is my last one. I just actually filmed this video, 20 minutes ago, and I'm doing my voiceover straight away, so you'd think I'd remember, but this is definitely the last one. So I'm going to head off, switch back to the live recording for you all. I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, I'm back. I'm unsure how much of this you will have seen, whether I keep it all in or whether I edit some of it out. But I embossed all bar 2 of each of the wood veneer. So I left 2 of the reindeer and 2 of the Christmas trees not embossed, and I will show you what I ended up with. So let's put these down. Let's give some sort of system to this, shall we? I'll do the Christmas trees first, show you what we ended up with. So I did a range of different kind of designs. I did a couple of half designs here. So to do that, you will have seen in the video, but I just used a post-it note that I put across, did the glue, peeled the post-it note off, embossing paste, heat gun. So there's a copper, and this one's white. It's a little bit hard to see, but there is white embossing powder there. So I really like the half and half look. I did 2 green, because I thought, Christmas trees, green. So there. And then I did a copper and a white. There you go. The sun is coming in and out of the clouds today, even though it is November, and in Australia, that means almost summer. It's freezing today. We've even got the heater on. It's actually very late November when I'm filming this, so it's even closer to summer. And it is freezing. Right, so with the reindeer, I did some gold sparkle. These are probably my favourite, and I wish I had done some trees in this, but I didn't. That's okay. So I did some reindeer with the gold sparkle. I tried to do some of the reindeer facing in different directions. And then I did 2 half and half reindeer here with the copper. Again, using the post-it note technique. I did a half and half with the white. And then the last 2, I did 1 all red and 1 in silver. You can see there. So 1 all red and 1 in silver. And that's it. So that is her advent calendar tutorial for today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're loving our series, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.